As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Double winner of the weekend. First of all, shout out Jinx High School, my niece. They get it done. Soccer state championship. Knock off the number one team in the country. Norman
What?
North. Yep, and got the W Friday evening. So congratulations to them. Very, very cool. But Coach Stoops, Renegades getting it done as the underdog going in, 2 playoff wins, big time wins, underdog in both of them, get the championship. Bob Stoops has had more Gatorade baths than any other coach in history, I think, from all kinds of different leagues, and like got a Gatorade bath at the Alamo Bowl, and he wasn't even the coach of the team. I mean, it's crazy. But very fun. That was a fun game to watch. They jumped out to a nice early lead. Defense forced 3 turnovers, and I think they had, or 3 interceptions, and they had only thrown 1 or 2 interceptions the whole year. Had DC, so just a really, really fun game.
Yeah, and an unconventional path to a championship, right?
It's wild, right?
But they were 4-6 in the 10-game regular season.
4-6, and traded for a linebacker for their quarterback halfway through the year. Did you watch much of the game?
I watched the entire thing.
So
I had nothing else to watch.
I was shocked by what I heard from Louis Perez, like his path to get where he is. It's crazy. So he never played high school football. He played on the JV team in like 9th grade, was a tight end, didn't want to play tight end, quit. He was an elite bowler and was going to get a bowling scholarship.
As one does.
Right. For whatever reason, that didn't work out, which, by the way, let me back up. He's the son. His dad was on the Mexican national team in Mexico soccer. So he decides to walk on to a junior college, and his 9th string quarterback, all right, fights his way, stays there, ends up taking over the starting job after transfers and injury, plays really well, ends up going to Texas A&M Commerce after he's done with junior college, Division II school, wins a Division II national championship, wins the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is a Division II Heisman Trophy. It's just a crazy, has played in every pro football league that there is in the country. It's just a really cool story, man. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, and now The Rock is handing him the trophy.
It's just wild. It's so cool, man. I was happy for him.
It was a really entertaining game.
Yeah,
I think the XFL, I really think that's an entertaining product.
it is. I like the rule set is really good. I mean, you got ability to come back in games whenever you're down fairly big.
Yeah.
You can chew up the score pretty quick. You can, I don't know what the conversion rate is. It's not high, but you've got a better opportunity, I think, than the onside kick. There's some good stuff there for sure.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed watching that game. Like I thought the announcers did a great job, right? I thought McElroy did a good job. Like it felt like a big deal watching it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The broadcast was great. The turnover, like the underdog beating the heavy favorite. It was a fun championship game.
And I actually, typically I wouldn't care, but for whatever reason, I actually enjoyed like some of the sideline interviews, like during the game, like whenever DC's trying to make a comeback and they score a touchdown. I think it was Abram Smith on that long run.
Yeah.
And got him on the sideline. I think it was Kublik had him. I don't know. It's interesting because you don't know what they're going to say in that moment. And I don't know. It was entertaining.
Yeah. I like friend of the podcast, Cole Kublik. He's crushed that. That's not an easy role. Like interviewing those guys just coming off the field right after making a big play, being able to compose yourself, get them composed. And he's done an awesome job with all of that.
Yep.
It's not as easy as it looks. So overall, that was a really entertaining football game. And Our coach won, so I'm happy.
Yep, that was cool. That was very, very cool.
All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Easy. John Morant,
Oh my
suspended.
gosh.
Was it Instagram Live with another gun in the passenger seat of a vehicle, listening to some music, excited, like most people do when they get excited and hear a song they like, they pull out a gun on Instagram Live, right? Is that the thing to do now? Oh man. I
It sucks. What's he
it's
doing?
it's I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I I can understand a lot of people's like because part of the argument out there is like, well, I mean, he's got the right to carry a gun as long as it's registered and wherever he is, he's following the local rules. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, but you have to understand from his standpoint how much something like that can cost you. And I don't know, maybe he didn't know his buddy was filming it, put it on Instagram Live, which, still, it's like that's going to cost him millions of dollars, millions. I don't even know how much it's going to cost him, but it's, as much as he makes, you don't have to miss very many games before you're down a milli.
Yeah, remember, he got in trouble and got suspended by the NBA the first time, right? The video of him with it was in the strip club in Denver,
Right. But that
right?
was after the allegations that him and his crew pulled it and pointed a laser pointer at they said was it the Pacers?
Yeah, and remember, let's not forget him punching the what was it like a 17-year-old kid at his house and then pointing a gun at him,
Right. Yep.
threatening a mall security guard, like all this stuff. I
There's a history.
I think John Morant's just kind of a bad dude. I think that's where I'm at with it. Like for him to do something, like, do you know how incredibly selfish this is? The the Memphis Grizzlies signed him to $194 million deal. And he seems determined to piss it all away. And you
Well,
talk about the fall from grace, man. A year ago at this time, John Morant was one of the most well-liked guys. Anyone that was associated with the NBA was like, dude, that guy's awesome. He's so fun to watch. He's must-see TV. Like, he's worth the price of admission. And now he's going to get a long suspension for this. And Nike just came out with his signature shoe. And they backed him through the first thing. Yeah. Are they going to back him again through this? How much money will that cost him?
I would.
What is he doing?
I don't know. And it's all for looks.
His friends, who's the guy that's doing on the Instagram Live? Like, you got to have one guy in that car that goes, hey, Jaws in the car. We're not going to do that.
I feel like the first time I watched it, I feel like because he had it on himself and he's doing his thing. And then he points it over there. And that's whenever he had the gun out. And I feel like he threw the phone down at his waist or something. It was like, oh my God, no. Why would you do that?
John Morant, he's got to make smarter decisions, but I think he needs some better friends too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, who knows? I mean, the Grizzlies have already suspended him. Who knows what the league is going to do? Can you imagine you're Adam Silver? Remember that whole thing? He went to the treatment facility in Florida. He was there for a couple of days. And then he was back. And they got him reacclimated, all that stuff. There was a build up to it. But Adam Silver had to feel like, okay, we've handled that. It's done. We're moving on. And for him to do it again.
Yeah. And I don't know, for the NBA, because in the NFL, there's a pretty I conduct detrimental to the team is like a pretty broad, statement. They can fit pretty much anything into that. So I don't know if it's similar in the NBA or if there's a specific like gun situation. Like there is obviously on guns at the facility and at the arena on game day, but I don't know like what type of rules they have as far as social media is concerned and stuff like that. But they're going to throw whatever they can at him, I would imagine.
He's obviously the face of that franchise, right? And the Grizzlies, everyone involved, they got to be pissed, man. I mean, absolutely pissed that like you learn from your mistakes, man. You're taught that as a little kid. Like, hey, you made the mistake. Okay. We've addressed it. You just don't do it again. I mean, the playoffs aren't even over. And now everyone in the world is talking about it.
Yeah.
I truly believe with the way that he plays, the personality he's got, like how much he connected with younger fans, right? Who really keep up with the NBA through, Instagram and TikTok and that stuff. Like John Morant is, I mean, he's perfect for all that stuff. I think the NBA really he was going to be one of the faces of the league. And he has screwed it up royally. What do the kids say? He has fumbled the bag, Ted. The bag was secured, and it still is, unless the Grizzlies are really, really mad. But I mean, think of all the endorsement money he's losing. All the jersey sales he's losing. Like you used to walk in and say, yeah, I want my kid to have a John Morant jersey. Now you're walking in going, oh, I don't know about that.
Well, the real thing is for me, it doesn't change my opinion of him. Definitely not as a basketball player. It makes me think he's an idiot, right? That he's just willingly throwing a ton of money away. I don't know. Like the thought is that if he constantly is doing this, is constantly in like sketchy places, and he's carrying a gun, obviously he's got a gun on him at all times. If you happen to see him or you're about to get in a scuffle with the guy somewhere, you got to remember that. But it feels like there's something, like it's just a matter of time before something actually really bad does happen, right? Like that's the thing that I'm worried about him for. Is it the end of the world that he's dancing in the car with a gun? No, it's not. But it just feels like this is leading to a very dangerous place for him.
Yeah, and I read this earlier. The guy I think his name's Devontae Pack, I think that's right, was the guy that was Instagram living. That's the guy that got banned from FedEx Forum for the whole thing after the game with the Pacers. You're hanging with the guy that got banned from your arena, and he's going on Instagram Live, and you're waving a gun in the air. Like, dude, what?
Crazy.
Just next level stupidity.
Make of what, $40 million a year?
Maybe not.
It did. All right. That number's already for next year. That number is already dropping significantly. So he makes $1 million every 2 games. He's probably going to miss. I mean, I don't even know. What would you guess? 15 game suspension? 10?
I could see it being. I got to imagine Adam Silver and the leadership there in the NBA. They're like, okay, the 8-game suspension, it didn't get through to you. How's 25?
Whew.
I got to imagine they're royally pissed off.
There.
And remember, this is happening during the playoffs. Like this all broke right before Game 7 between the Celtics and 76ers. You got to imagine this is the last thing they wanted to happen going into a really big playoff game. Now
Right.
everyone's talking about Morant waving a gun around again.
Yeah. Yep.
I guarantee you those guys are hot. Like, oh, okay, so the 8 games that did not send the message.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the league handles it. That's for sure.
I know. Come on, man.
Figure it out, man. You're incredible at
smart.
basketball. Don't do this. Stop it. Stop being Stoops. I'll say what I say to my son. Stop being silly. Don't be come on. Don't be silly. All right, let's get to I really hope he figures it out because he is. I mean, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah.
Don't let this stuff derail it, man. Come on. Come on. Let's reel it back in. Let's reel back in. It's not too late. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
John Vance Auto Group has been serving Oklahomans for 40 years. Family owned and operated. They got 9 full service dealerships in Woodward, Miami, and Guthrie. No matter what your vehicle needs are, John Vance Auto Group has you covered. They carry domestic brands such as Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, and Wagoneer. John Vance Auto Group's goal is to give unequaled service and to exceed customers' expectations in every way, which is why they have their lifetime loyalty program. Here's how it works. Buy a new or used car from the Vance dealership, and if something goes wrong with the components of your engine, transmission, drive, axle, or transfer unit, they cover the repair costs. It's a great deal. You can browse their entire inventory or find the John Vance dealership near you at vanceautogroup.com.
And First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. Ladies and gentlemen, make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information. All right, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with Washington Commanders fans because it's happening.
Are we sure this time?
It sounds like the deal is done. Now, the other owners in the league still have to vote on it, right? But Dan Snyder is officially selling the team for the low price of $6.05 billion to a group led by Josh Harris, who is a co-owner of the 76ers and New Jersey Devils. But it's happening. Commanders fans have to be thrilled. No more Dan Snyder. Congratulations, Commanders fans.
Yep, that's big time. And I know people like it's been a weird dynamic because I feel like the entire Commanders fan base has hated their owner for such a long time. It's
unbelievable.
Weird. Yeah.
And now we'll see how it goes once he's out, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. Also thought about going with the Tennessee Titans. Did you see their schedule release video?
Oh, just beautiful.
Oh, now there are a lot of good ones, but that one was my favorite one, right? Just drunk people on Broadway there in Nashville saying the logos. It was so good. What was better? All the people thinking that the Colts logo is the Cowboys logo. I can only imagine how mad Jerry Jones was seeing that. Like he's built this whole thing, this whole empire around that star. And they all see the little horseshoe from the Colts and all of them, Cowboys.
Oh, that's the Cowboys.
Oh, so good. But I also thought there was the one girl, they showed the Falcons logo and she was like, the Red Stallions.
That's so funny. And I love that the Falcons played along and changed their Twitter bio to the Red Stallions.
So good.
Funny. That's awesome.
Yeah. I love those. But my winner of the weekend, the Las Vegas Raiders. 10.
Okay.
If you could pick any former NFL player to become a minority owner in your team, if you were a player on that team, who are you picking? Who are you like? It's a good thing if this guy's on board with us.
Michael Irvin.
Oh man, I did not see that coming.
No, I think you got to go with Tom Brady, right? The GOAT.
It's Tom Brady, best winner ever, and he reportedly is in deep discussions to become a limited partner in the Las Vegas Raiders franchise. Now, according to ESPN, Brady's investment is expected to be a passive role, so a hands-off role. I'll believe that when I see it, right? I'll believe that when I see it. What, Mark Davis just is going to ask him for no advice? Okay, yeah. What?
Like he's the only rich guy he knows,
Yeah,
right? So come on, what's
yeah,
what's the point?
yeah. But
You get rich people anywhere to invest in the Raiders.
at the very least, it looks like you're going to have the greatest winner in the history of the sport in the fold, right? And it seems like him having any association with the franchise would be good for business, right? From a PR and marketing standpoint, maybe you let him sell some Brady brand stuff in the stadium. I don't know, but it feels like Las Vegas Raiders fans, they like need a win. They need a win, and this feels like a small win for him that Tom Brady could be on board here.
Yeah, maybe he's going to be owner player, come back,
Could you
quarterback.
imagine Jimmy Garoppolo's reaction to this? Like, really, man?
Come on.
Really?
The guy that won't quit is now affiliated with the Raiders. Seriously? Yeah. I think it's awesome. I frankly think that Tom Brady would be an excellent, like, I maybe not go as far as saying GM, but like someone that's in the office making some decisions, like what you should do, like how you should structure things, like what type of guys you want to bring in. And I don't know. I think there's a really solid role there that he could have if he wanted, but who wants that when you can make $30 million a year calling one game a week? Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah. And I guess from the reports I read, it will not affect his broadcast deal with Fox. I guess Fox gave it their blessing, right? But yes, 10-year, $375 million deal is what he allegedly signed with Fox to call games, which is just absurd. But hey,
It's throwing away money. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady's not going to be good. He may be the greatest ever, but it will not affect the ratings one bit. They could have anyone they want calling that game, and it's going to be the exact same.
My guess is that Tom Brady, like the value that comes with that contract for Fox is they go meet with potential sponsors and Tom Brady comes.
Yeah, probably.
You want to sponsor X, Y, or Z in the broadcast?
Yeah.
Talk to our friend Tom.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe that's just and I'm just assuming.
It makes the product. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. That does affect things. Now, most people in that business, typically, it's like, yeah, that sounds great. Show me the ratings, like But I do think that is an excellent point. That I think that does matter.
But and maybe because there are some reports out there that maybe Tom Brady doesn't do the broadcasting gig at all, and maybe now with his investment in the Raiders, maybe Greg Olson's sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be the big cheese, baby. I'm going to be number one. Keep doing other stuff, Tommy boy."
Yeah, I don't. While I love Greg and I think he does a great job, I don't think he's going to slide into that $375 million contract.
No, and he knows that. He knows
that. That's how unbelievably rich do you have to be to turn your nose up at a contract like that? Is that not insane?
He's don't
probably is that more than he's ever made in a year? 37 million playing football?
Oh yeah. Right? Because remember, he always took a little less in New
like
England.
15 for the longest time.
Yeah. Maybe he lost a lot in the FTX thing.
I know, but still, like, if that was the case, he'd be like, "Where do I sign? Let's get rolling on this thing. Actually, can you front me some of that contract?"
Yeah. I don't know much, but I don't think Tom Brady is worried about his finances.
No.
I think he's good, but
Yep.
we'll see. We'll see where this all goes. All right, for my loser of the weekend, the Golden State Warriors. Season was on the line in LA against the Lakers, and they got waxed. 122-101. Lakers never trailed in the game. Now, as a Thunder fan, clearly I'm not heartbroken that the Golden State Warriors got eliminated. But I was pretty damn surprised that they went out that way.
Yeah.
And maybe I should give the Lakers some more credit, but I expected the Warriors to put up a little more of a fight than that. I was sitting there, Ted. It was getting late. I was sitting there going, I'm staying up. The run's coming. They're going to make it interesting. And it never came. Never came. And there's a lot of uncertainty moving forward with that Golden State squad. It was weird to see it just end like that in that fashion.
Yeah. And it seems to be a very a large and growing group of folks out there that believe that the Lakers are straight up going to the finals. So, I mean, it's hard to really knock that right now. I mean, we'll see. Denver's definitely going to have something to say about it, but like they're really good. But you know, momentum is a hell of a thing, and you know the Lakers look like a different team right now than they did pretty much the entire year.
Yeah, I'm taking the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, which, by the way, I'm fired up for. I trust Jokic more than anyone, right?
Yep.
In the series, I really do, and you know we'll see what Anthony Davis looks like, right? That's the Lakers kind of go as he goes with the way that he performs in these games, but LeBron James, man, very good at basketball.
Yeah.
In the elimination game, 39-9. That'll work. Austin Reeves continues. He's hitting half court shots now. He continues the ball, man. It's fun to watch. It's so fun to watch him have this much success.
It's crazy, and I don't know who it was from. I just happened to be scanning Twitter last night, and there was a lot of comments that saying like they've really never seen LeBron trust anyone like at guard like he trusts Austin Reeves out there, which is a crazy thing to say, but he's backed it up, man. He's been great. Very, very good. It's awesome to watch him out there, man. He's got confidence. He has never doubted that he belongs there, which is cool to see.
Yeah. The confidence is growing.
Yep.
Too. You can just see it. But yeah, I do wonder what's going to happen with the Warriors. Right? It feels like forever they have been a significant factor in the picture of the NBA. Right. And I know Steph Curry's going to be there, but man, they got a lot of decisions to make this offseason. First and foremost, Bob Myers, their GM, his contract's expiring.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson's up for an extension. Draymond Green has a player option. Jordan Poole's new deal hasn't kicked in yet. Kicks in next year. Yikes. Guy was basically unplayable in a couple of those games against the Lakers. Then you have to consider all the stuff with the new CBA and how the punishment for exceeding the luxury tax and like that second apron. Like there's all this stuff that the Warriors are about to have to deal with. A lot of uncertainty. So
and they're all older, you know.
Yeah. What's Steph Curry, 35?
It's not to say that they're not playing really good ball still, but it's not the same as it was 5 years ago with those guys where everyone was like right in the middle of their prime together. You know, Klay Thompson's had the injury stuff that's really stacked up and just become more and more difficult. And they've had a big target on them for a long time, and that changes things. So yeah, man, you win so much that you got to pay everyone, and you end up finding yourself in a tough spot.
I know the new luxury tax rules, like the penalties that come with exceeding it and doing all that stuff. I know that it's supposed to make the league more competitive across the board, right? You can't just that then the super rich owners can't just, overspend and overspend and overspend and not worry about the luxury tax check they're having to write. But and this is not an original thought. I've heard many people talk about it, but I would like to see organizations, like if you draft guys and you have them for as long as Golden State has had them and has retained them, like there should be a little something to where you can continue to retain those guys and pay them a lot. I don't know what it would look like, but I'm just starting to think about the Thunder's future, right?
Like the
It's like
longer a player's there, like at some point his full contract, it's like it's worth a
doesn't count all the way
percentage,
against the cap or something like that. You know what I
right?
mean?
Like instead of like it's 85% if you've been there for
You
8
call it
years,
the loyalty tax or something,
right? Yeah,
where, hey, if you retain your guys that you drafted and developed, I don't know. I feel like you should get rewarded for that in some form or fashion.
yeah,
Now, I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but
because it does end up being more of a, like you add all of these other pieces, really good players at above market cost to get them in for a year or two to be able to try and make a championship run or something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah, figure it out, NBA. Especially, I'm just scheming how we can hold on to Jalen Williams, the really good one, for a long, long time. It's like, hey, it'll be the next CBA. It's fine. It's fine.
Right, right.